Hello, myself Ramsina Aziz. Today I'm dealing with the topic types of audit. Here I am explaining independent audit, internal audit and continuous audit. Let's start. First we move on to the topic classification of audit on the basis of degree of independence. There are two types of audit. Under this category they are independent audit or external audit, and second one is internal audit. First one, independent audit. Independent audit is also referred as external audit. The audit of accounts of a firm is conducted by independent, personally qualified auditors. It is conducted to protect the interest of proprietors and third parties. The audit work is done periodically after a fixed period, that is normally a year. Second one is internal audit. Internal audit is a significant type of audit which involves a systematic examination of records, systems, and procedures and operations of an organization as a service to the management. The concept of internal audit was traditionally developed as an audit on behalf of the management to ensure that the assets of its organization were adequately safeguarded and properly accounted for, and to ensure that the accounting and other allied records were reliable, and to ensure that each of the organizations followed the policies and procedures as laid by the top management. The internal audit is mainly conducted for management by staff specially appointed or promoted for this purpose. The staff appointed for the purpose of internal audit is called internal auditors. This type of audit is suitable for big business organizations. The internal auditor goes beyond the books of accounts and related records and should evaluate the various activities of the organization and also to suggest to the management regarding activities and operations reviewed by him. So, we can say that internal audit is not a compulsory but it is an optional one. Some of the features of internal audit are: it is not compulsory, it is optional, and it is a continuous audit. Internal audit is suitable to large business organizations like banks, insurance companies, local bodies, etc. The internal audit is generally conducted by own employees of the firm specially appointed for the purpose. They are called internal auditors. The internal audit is conducted for ascertaining that the internal control system existed in the organization is effective and to see whether operations or programs are being carried out as planned by top management. The object of internal audit varies from business to business depending on its different nature. Let's move on to the topic classification of audit according to the method or on the basis of the conduct of audit or practical point of view. Based on this, the audit is classified into many types. They are continuous audit, final audit, balance sheet audit, interim audit, occasional audit, partial audit, and standard audit. Let's see continuous audit in detail. Continuous audit is it implies that a detailed examination of all the transactions by the auditor continuously throughout the year at regular or irregular intervals. Thus, the auditor visits the concern at regular or irregular intervals during the trading period. It is also known as running audit or detailed audit. A continuous audit is applicable where it is necessary to present the final accounts just at the close of the financial year, or where the chances of errors and frauds are greater, or where the business is quite large, etc. Now let us discuss what are the advantages of continuous audit. First one is detailed checking. As the auditor visits his clients at regular or irregular intervals, a detailed, closed and exhaustive checking is possible. It means that thorough and detailed checking of accounts is possible since the auditor gets one complete financial year for audit under continuous audit. Then, under continuous audit, the errors and frauds can be discovered and rectified soon. So we can say that one of the advantages of continuous audit is that easy and a quick detection of errors and frauds. Then the next is up-to-date accounting records. The regular visit of the auditor makes the clerks alert to maintain accounts up to date. Next advantage is that early finalization of accounts is possible under continuous audit. Final accounts duly verified and certified can easily be presented to the shareholders soon after the close of the financial year when continuous audit is followed in the organization. Then the next is greater moral check. Frequent and surprise visit of the auditor to the business in continuous audit would compel the staff to keep the records well up to date. It has a good moral check on the dishonest practice because uncertain intervals that the clerks are not aware when the auditor will come. This leads to greater moral check upon the staff of the client. It means that continuous audit is effective in imposing a moral check over the staff of the client. Better understanding of the technicalities of the business is possible in continuous audit. That is, auditor's continuous association with the business of his client would help him in understanding accounts more clearly. The next is efficient audit is possible. The auditor having more time at his disposal can check the accounts with greater attention and in detail, and his work will be more efficient. The next advantage is that preparation of interim audit, where the directors of the company wish to declare an interim dividend. Continuous audit will help the preparation of interim accounts without much delay. From this, we can say that continuous audit helps for preparation of interim statements. Where there is continuous audit, the interim statement, if required, can be properly maintained or prepared easily. That means continuous audit helps the interim audit. Then the auditor comes more and more into touch with the business affairs and its technical details. Hence, he can advance valuable suggestions to his client for improving the working of the business and system of maintaining accounts. So we can say that suggestions and advice from auditor will get under continuous audit. Let's see what are the disadvantages of continuous audit. If there are lots of advantages of continuous audit, there are certain drawbacks of such an audit. They are alteration of figures. The chief disadvantage is that figures may be altered by the client's staff after the audit work. Then the next is time. That is, continuous audit involves much time. Then the next is expensive. Continuous audit is an expensive method. It has got another limitation, that frequent and surprise visit of the auditor to the client's business may cause inconvenience to the client staff and dislocation in the client's work. So one of the limitation is dislocation of client's work. Then the next disadvantage is that mechanical. Under the continuous audit, the work of the auditor becomes mechanical. Auditor's frequent visit may also lead to monotony in the work. It means that it is possible that the audit work may become dull and mechanical because of the auditor's frequent visit. Then the next limitation is that frequent visit of audit staff is likely to establish an unhealthy relationship between the audit and the client staff, hence the moral check upon them may be lessened. These are all about independent audit, internal audit, and continuous audit. Thank you.